Hello, thank you for joining. My name is Hussein. Um, I just finished another recovery meeting, Narcotics Anonymous. Hello, my name is Hussein. I'm an addict. This is a key tag signifying that, it's a just for today key tag. I was recently released from jail here in Toronto. I was in jail for 18 months. I have cannabis use disorder. This is my drug of choice, is cannabis. It's actually ruined my life. When I smoke weed for a period of days and weeks, it unfortunately it uncorrects. It hampers my mental health. It triggers a bipolar reaction. I'm diagnosed bipolar. If I don't smoke weed, I'm fine. And unfortunately, for 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, for like 12 years a slave. I was 12 years a slave to this situation, smoking weed, okay? And then bipolar is triggered. I start acting crazy. I ended up living under a bridge. This bridge right here. This was one of my hangouts, and I basically was in the neighborhood, and I'm trying to get down to a trail at the bottom here, and there's all kinds of construction going on here in Toronto, and this was literally the only way I could figure to get down to the trail here. I've got my bike up there, and I'm going to walk it down because I've been biking every day. Anyway, smoking weed ruined my life. As part of my release conditions, I spent 18 months in jail on an arson charge. I basically was just out of my gourd and arguing with my wife, and I set fire to a jacket in the hallway outside her apartment door. And the police made this big case about it, and the Crown saying that I was trying to kill or hurt my wife, and this was not my intention. I was just being an idiot. I thought my wife would throw water on the jacket, fire put out, and all this stuff. It turned into a big deal. It was like a big winter jacket, and it's all plasticky, and there's smoke everywhere, and one of the neighbors has to run out and get a fire extinguisher, and the Toronto police and the fire department showed up, and my wife was treated for smoke inhalation. It turned into a huge deal. Anyway, I got in a lot of trouble. My Narcotics Anonymous meeting is just across the bridge there, across the Don Valley, and again, I thought to myself, I would just come here and relive some memories and, of course, shoot this video. So, you've got some signs of street life here. And technically, this whole place is kind of shut off. What's interesting is that, so again, for about a month or 6 weeks, this was my home. Like, I would go out and about in my adventures, then come back here at the end of the day, and I feel like God basically showed me this place, and it's a nice, quiet, secure spot where basically I just had a delusional 6 or 8 weeks. And the reason I'm coming back is for myself, just to reinforce how far I've come along in my journey, right? There's more signs of street activity down there. Like this song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. This means something, right? Under the Bridge is basically a homeless song, more or less. And then, of course, Metallica's Wherever I May Roam. This is also a homeless song. Where I Lay My Head is Home, right? And so the guy is not attached to possessions. He's attached to knowledge and these kinds of things. And he's talking down to people in the 9-to-5 workaday world. Anyway, saying that you're slaves and this and that. The one thing that can be said about street life, and this is would be the main attraction, of course, is the freedom, absolute freedom. Like here in a city like Toronto, and you can see how beautiful it is. Like this is the Don Valley, down there is Mount Pleasant Road. That's where I want to go down and bike. Like there's the huge Don Valley Trail here in Toronto, and it, unfortunately, because of construction, I mean, of course, it's a good and bad thing. The city's growing and we're getting new infrastructure. But at the same time, it's a pain, even if you're biking, not just driving. Like there's so much construction and it's so interruptive. Hello. So yeah, like this was the place. Like this was my digs. Now what's interesting is I was living here for 6 weeks, and then for some reason they sent, this is a school or something like this. It's some kind of collegiate institute run by the TDSB, Tango Delta Sierra Bravo, the Toronto District School Board. And they sent, like, I don't know, somehow they found out I was living here or something like this. And in the middle of the night, security guard showed up and he's like, okay, like blah, blah, blah. He was very nice. And he said, you have to get out of here. So this right at the top of these stairs, they've shut it off. Actually, no, right here, you can see, like there's a, basically it's cut off. You used to be able to come down, you can come down these stairs, but this area right here, this is all cut off. So technically I'm trespassing. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for this. Here's some poor lady that had some hopes of becoming a mayor, and her dreams and her ambitions came to naught. But I'll say to her, like, listen lady, you weren't able to be the mayor. That's Olivia Chow, and she's the boss, and she's amazing as a mayor. In fact, Toronto is so blessed. We had two amazing mayors in succession, John Tory and Olivia Chow, and they're both amazing, and one was a conservative and one is a liberal. Anyway, God is great. I really believe that God takes care of Canada. During the so there's the main Bloor Danforth Bridge right there, and you may hear intermittently the sounds of like subway trains going across. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful city. Like, look at this peace and quiet. Like this whole thing, like the street life, once again, it's basically an escape from everyday life, from the 9-to-5 reality of life. On the other hand, there goes a train. I don't know if you can see glimpses of the train through the tree. So yeah, they've blocked off this area. So the Toronto District School Board, the dude shows up and he's like, he was very nice. He looked around to make sure there was no fires or weapons or whatever. I don't know, he had his flashlight. And he was a good guy, right? I was a security guard for 7 years myself while I was building my digital marketing practice. And this guy was very professional, on point, courteous, and he basically informed me, well, listen, you have to get out of here. You have to leave, okay? And you've got today, like you have to leave today and you shouldn't be back here tomorrow. And the next day they locked it up, right? Now you can still, of course, climb over the fence and come down here, and you can see the gates open, and there's probably some homeless activity that goes on underneath that arch over there. Although I don't see anything down there. Like you usually see like a tarpaulin and boxes and clothes and things. It looks like they cleaned it out. They used to have all kinds of detritus down there. Anyway, a lot of these are liability issues, of course. The Toronto District School Board, and you've got kids, and what if a kid comes down here, and so forth. So this was my home, dear user. This was my home for like 6 weeks. This was my little cave. This thing used to be, like, it's basically, I'll go in here and show you. This thing used to be, well, it is. I mean, it's basically a room, like with 3 walls, right? And there's been a lot of great additions to the artwork here since I was here last. None of this was here. So this is definitely some cool, like this is some great stuff, right? Like street art. Anyway, I used to live here. Like I had a mattress here, and there was all kinds of junk in this place. And my bipolar thing was basically, it's kind of like, it's hard to talk about. Bipolar is like schizophrenia and OCD rolled into one, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder, aka Orange County Detective. Obsessive compulsive disorder is basically you just get zoned into what you're doing. And of course, with OCD, you have people that are constantly washing their hands and fussing over things. And that's how it was similar. Like, I mean, with bipolar, you're not constantly cleaning yourself, although you might get involved in a cleaning task. But what it is you just zone into what you're doing. I would spend hours and days and a month or two in this place just arranging stuff, and I'd pick up like furniture and cushions and various schmegma that you find. Train. Oh. So you may have seen the tail end of this train. So yeah, like I'd spend days in here, basically just messing about in here. Like I'd get up in the morning and I would smoke weed, of course, and that would just keep me in my manic, deluded state. And I would be doing stretches here, stretching my legs and all this kind of stuff for an hour or two. I'd pray up there, and then I'd be trained. I'm worried about the sound. So yeah, I'd spend an hour or two stretching and all these kinds of things. And again, like in my deluded state, I had some really beautiful experiences. Just like you feel so spiritual, you feel like you're in a dream, and you feel so empowered. And of course, it's a huge delusion, is what it is. And coming back here today for me is just reinforcing in my mind my recovery. Like I'm on the other side of that picture now. And look, there's a book here. Weird Life. Interesting. I'm a bookaholic. I hope you are too. So yeah, I would basically the search for life that is very different from our own. This is the whole thing with the street life, of course. The street life is basically, you want to, like, unfortunately, the average person, you want to just basically change who you are and change your life. These two things. You want a different life, a different experience, these kinds of things. You want to go away, leave, this kind of stuff. And then you want to get out of yourself. You want to transcend who you are, these kinds of things. These are all very interesting things, and things I'll probably be talking about. By the way, thank you for visiting. This book is very compelling. I mean, I feel like I should take it. Like, these kinds of things are, to me, these are like mementos and things like this, right? Or signs or something. Like, if you read a book like this and you just pick up one little thing, let's just go like into the middle and see what's going on here. It's worth noting that the common metaphor for the activity of a living cell, a time-lapse video of a day of city traffic compressed into a few frenetic minutes, hardly does justice to its speed. In an average human cell, 2,000 new proteins are created each and every second. Belgian biochemist Christian de Duve observes that the speed of metabolic processes within the cell is beyond the powers of our imagination. Well, this is very interesting. I thought it was some kind of like teenage sci-fi book or story. Lucky for me, I've got my handy little man bag or whatever they call it, right? This man purse. And super lucky, I got this nice little plastic bag here, dear user. So I'm just gonna prop you up over here. Thank you for watching, by the way, if you are watching this, right? I appreciate it. Like, I've been getting zero views on my videos, like 3 views or 7 views, things like this. I don't know why. On the one hand, I don't know why I keep like, part of me like wonders why I keep, like, there's a question, why do I keep making these videos? Because no one watches them. Train. I'm worried about the noise. That's why I keep when the train goes by, I shut up, because you may not be able to hear what I'm saying. This is interesting. This toilet roll here, this shows me that there has been recent homeless activity here. Now, again, this whole place used to be filled with all kinds of stuff. There was my mattress. I had a couple of tarpaulins for blankets. There's all kinds of stuff here. And like all kinds of weird detritus, like old suitcases filled with clothes, and I'd be sorting through them and covered in dust and this whole thing. And then I went down underneath that bridge a couple of times, and I in fact I had a suitcase full of stuff, because you find all this stuff when you're living on the street. One of the things is you find all this stuff, all kinds of stuff, like electronics and shoes and clothes and weird stuff. And part of your compulsive nature when you have a mental health issue like the bipolar thing is you collect stuff and you're intrigued with everything, like this little sign here and this fence, and this is the OCD part of it. You just zone into whatever you're doing. Anyway, so I had some very interesting and spiritual, fulfilling in a sense, spiritual experiences. I do want to say, however, that no matter what kind of experience, like I'm now hardcore anti-drugs, anti-getting high, anti-weed, anti-everything except finding your true inner joy, peace, happiness, being the best person you can be, and experiencing life that way. And I experienced, I dare say, a personal transformation in jail. Like, this is something I want to talk about at some point. And I experienced a sense of peace, happiness, and well-being. All of this construction stuff wasn't here in the past. I'm trying to get you to the other side because there's more to see. Let's just go in here and see what's going on. So we're just gonna just go right in here. Do, 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 do. So technically this is this trespassing? Yes and no. Like, I mean, common sense says it's trespassing. I didn't see any signs, but of course there's a gate and there's a lock and stuff like this. And I know it's private property. Part of me is tempted to go underneath here and do all this kind of stuff, but I do see there's a path on the outside. And in fact, I just wanted to show you guys like this whole area and relive it for myself. Again, like coming from like a recovery meeting, Narcotics Anonymous, I'm glad to say that nowadays, through the grace of God, for the most part, there's passing thoughts, but there's no compulsion to smoke weed. There's no compulsion to get high. And this is the real thing. The real thing is that when you discover peace and happiness and a sense of well-being, wherein you don't, like, that thing becomes your ultimate. From time to time, you feel such incredible peace. From time to time, just walking around, like with the trees and the birds and the air and just general life. After 18 months in jail, inside one single building, the majority of that time inside of one single cell with a cellmate. Like, this is unimaginably hard, like jail. And I'd like to talk more about jail and what I learned there, things like this. I'd like to talk more about my personal transformation. I appreciate you watching this. I've been having a hard time. I'll tell you what, like, I've been having a hard time because I've been creating for years now, hundreds of YouTube videos, hundreds, at least 1,000. I've got probably 1,000 online. Like my various YouTube channels, I've got links in the description. Most of them I was manic, smoking weed and out of it. But some of my videos, I got like 2, 3, 4, and even 5,000 views. And it's like hundreds of views and all these kinds of things. And nowadays I'm struggling. And then I've been blogging and creating articles and posts. Train. I've been blogging and creating articles and posts, right? And I joined Medium recently, right? And it's like, I wrote a couple of articles on Medium, and one of my articles got 100 claps, like likes. And for me, this is like the most I've ever gotten for anything I've written. I consider myself a fairly good writer. I consider myself a fairly good communicator. I consider myself a person with a message, and I have a heart, and I'm sincere, and I'm not in it for the money. And it's like, I gotta tell you, I appreciate you watching, because for years, I'm glad I didn't go underneath there and do the limbo, this whole thing, because, I mean, it's just a bunch of, like, fencing. Train. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up in a half-hour mark. If you are watching this, thank you. Thank you, because I appreciate it. Like, for some reason, I was really sad today thinking about this thing. I wrote a Medium article, and recently, like the last couple of articles I've written, I've gotten like 1 view and nobody reads them. So that you can tell when someone's reading them, you can tell. And on the other hand, God is so great. Like, I did this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I was like, shit, why is no one reading my stuff? Okay, I gotta basically, my style I need to differentiate the style. Like, differentiate meaning online versus book form. When you've got a book and general long form content, or writing as it's called, you're writing in paragraphs, you really get into things. You may have noticed that a lot of like sales pages, when you click on an ad or something like this, what you'll see is bang, 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 1 or 2 sentences, question, then another sentence. And this is a salesy approach to writing, and it works actually. And in fact, it suits the online audience, online people that have zero attention, and you've got all these other links you want to click at, and you've got all these other competing videos and things to see and things like this. So you have to be like bang, 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 bang. Like Mr. Beast, one of the biggest YouTubers out there, you're probably familiar with him. He says, a couple of things about the YouTubing aspect, because I study these things too, right? And my whole thing, what I was trying to say is like, nobody reads my stuff. Nobody watches my stuff. Nobody. And so I appreciate it. If you're watching this, like my family, I've told them like in passing and explicitly, like, hey guys, how come you never like or comment on any of my videos? One of my brothers on one of my videos out of 1,000 commented one time, and that's it. And then the same brother commented on some other post of mine. That's it. I'm like literally the guy who's dying for likes, and it's train. It's human nature. It's just human nature. Like, it's not that a person's trying to show off. Like, look at me, I'm so great, and I've got so, I don't know, whatever. Like, it's not even worth talking about, but I'm of course talking about it. There's compulsion of, you want people to like what you're saying. You want people to respond. You want people to respond, like, comment. And then on the other hand, like, I just discovered this guy. Oh, wow, nice pair of shoes. So this stuff right here, like me, I'm the guy who's basically going to take these shoes now and basically put them out there, making sure that they're not my size. No, I'm fine. I just got a couple of nice shoes recently. Wow, they practically are my size. They're 9.5s, but I just got a nice pair of sneakers recently. But what I do with stuff like this is, and I'm going to do this, I guess I'm just going to leave them here. Or actually, I'll put them back. Maybe this is a little indication that I should go back. And you're probably thinking, ew, he's picking up these nasty, disgusting shoes and all this stuff. And you're right. You're probably right. I'll wash my hands, whatever, right? However, in Islam, sunlight is a purifier. Anything that the sun falls on becomes purified. Apart from something that is innately impure, like a piece of feces, if it became hard and whatnot in the sun, and it's still feces. But a shoe, for example, if it's been in the sunlight, dust is pure. Dust is pure. Like when you go to pray, like you wash your hands and your face and things like this. And my beautiful, hermosa y linda esposita de Bogotá, su país es Colombia. Mi esposa es colombiana, por supuesto. My beautiful Christian wife. Yeah, these shoes are kind of beat up. I'm just going to put them back in that main cave next to the toilet roll, just to add a sense of order and like a little homestead touch to that thing. But dust is pure, and the shoes themselves, if they've been in the sun, which I assume they're going to have been, like, not that I was thinking of any of this stuff. I just do a lot of this stuff impulsively. I've lived on the street. What are you going to do, right? So yeah, like, I'll wash my hands and things like this. But yeah, these are pure. My wife tells me that there's a lot of things. She says to me this statement. She says, you know what, with you Muslims, you basically do all the things that are written in the Bible that we don't do. Like, this is what she said to me. Like, you go do the research. I've read the Bible, so I know what she's talking about. But you can go and think about this and do the research. Islam is basically, my whole thing right now is Islam is Christianity plus, Christianity is Judaism plus, and Islam is Judaism plus plus. So I'm a Jew as well as a Christian and a Muslim. That's all it is. And every Christian is also a Jew. That's all that is. My wife says that washing before you pray, this is in the Bible. Not drinking alcohol, this is also in the Bible. Abstaining from alcohol, and it is, of course it is. And the veil that you wear. People have this problem with the hijab. I know I've totally digressed here, but what are you going to do, right? That's why I make these videos. And again, I appreciate you watching this stuff. Toronto's a beautiful city on a side note. I just saw this article online in the independent newspaper where the guy says that the best city in North America is now in Canada. And of course, I didn't read far enough to find out what city he's talking about. So yeah, these shoes, but Canada is a beautiful country. It's like the States minus the problems. I mean, a lot of people talk about, oh, Canada's this and that, and then you have Bill Myers, or whatever the hell that guy's name is, right? And he's talking shit about Canada. Just come and visit and live here, and then you'll see how it is. Anyway, so yeah, Muslims, Christians, Jews, all the same. That's what that is. 26 minutes. So yeah, I'm happy with this video. I felt actually great making this video and talking to you guys, because I've been discovering, like, I'm an internet marketing junkie, as in I've made money online doing all kinds of things. Like, my whole thing is I'm a consultant, and then I've gotten clients online. At the very least, you can put an ad on Craigslist, things like this. Like social media, I've gotten like leads through Twitter and Facebook and things like this. Anyway, my whole point here is that A, people don't watch my videos, and so thank you if you watch this. B, no one reads any of my blog posts. Okay, so yeah, I'm appreciative of you watching this. And as an internet marketing junkie, I watch all these videos. Like, I have dreams as well of making my $1 million online, and I'm determined to do this. And then I see these people online who are so amazing. Like, I just ran into, like, every day, like, you can watch these things for hours, and I really suggest you do. You can make lots of money online. I've actually made lots of money online. I've made like 5 figures. It sounds pretty impressive, but this is the case. I've made, just with one website and Google ads, over $10,000 over the course of 10 years, of course. Just that one website. Not to mention, I've made money selling on Amazon, selling on eBay. I've made a few dollars here and there with affiliate marketing, different things that I've tried over time. And you watch these videos, like my latest discovery is Dan Koe. And then there's this amazing lady called Sunny Lenarduzzi, like whatever, D-U-Z-Z-I, Leonard, whatever. Like, I doubt you'd be able to Google and find her. Anyway, you watch these videos of these amazing people, and they're high energy, and they're talking, and they're millionaires, and they're so amazing. And so that's my whole thing right now, like, gravitating towards becoming like that, successful, fulfilled, and semi-enlightened, and teaching others, connecting to others. And I kind of felt some of that in this video. Like, I was sad all day today and this morning, and frankly, I haven't been depressed for since I've been in jail. Like, I overcame my depression and my anxiety in jail, and my mood disorders, and I reached a place of happiness, peace, and well-being. I'll talk about this in future videos, of course, my personal transformation in jail, for me, this was just a reliving of my homeless life. And no matter what kind of experience you have on drugs, real life is better. Like, this is it. Like, no matter what kind of experience. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and take care.